For this episode of True Talks, I'm here at the Nashville Zoo, so stay tuned. Welcome to the third episode of True Talks. Today I am joined by Mr. Jim Bartoo. He's the Nashville Zoo's Marketing and Public Relations Director. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I know you have a hectic schedule.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for coming out today.
Awesome, I appreciate that. So if you don't mind me asking, how long have you held the title of Public Relations and Marketing Director?
I've been in this position for 17 years.
Wow. Experience under the belt there.
I started when I was 5.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's, no exaggerations here. No exaggerations here. So what's one thing you enjoy most about your job?
Honestly, I enjoy the people, particularly the children, to watch them come into the zoo, to see the excitement on their faces, to watch their physical excitement as they make their way through the zoo, as they discover new things. That's really what gives me a lot of joy and what drives me to work every day.
Wow. Speaking of newness, you've seen a lot of things change here.
I have, yeah.
So do you have a particular favorite, maybe trail or exhibit?
I don't know if I could pick out a favorite. There are so many, and every time we open up a new exhibit, it's there. All of them are just beautiful. Bamboo Trail in particular is just dynamite. You feel like you're in a bamboo forest when you walk up there. Kangaroo Kickabout is an immersive experience that you can't get anywhere else in the state, frankly, and I would encourage everybody to see it. Flamingo Lagoon is just absolutely beautiful, particularly in the spring and summer when it starts to green up, and that green against the backdrop with those pink flamingos is just dynamite.
I can only imagine. We actually came here during the summer and got to experience the kangaroo exhibit. That's been here since like 2013, right?
Yes, it opened up in 2013. It was our last major exhibit opening. Since then, we've had some minor stuff open up, and we have plans to open up a lot more in 2017.
Oh, wow. What type of exhibits are we looking forward to?
Well, we were hoping to get those open this year, but we've had some construction delays. But Spider Monkey, we're going to open up next year. We hope to open up our Andean bear habitat next year. We'll have a tiger exhibit that we're in the process of renovating that we hope to open next year. And then hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have a rhino exhibit open. So those are 4 big exhibits that are coming back online.
Oh, wow. So I know that you guys have a lot of activities here, and it's kind of hard to keep up with them because it's daily activities. But how do you encourage people to just participate in some of the things that Nashville Zoo has here?
Well, we have a marketing arm that kind of reaches in a lot of different types of medium. We have our owned media, so we do a lot of social posts. We have an email that reaches about 90,000 households, so we do a lot of communication that way to encourage people about what's coming up next. Social media posts, as I mentioned. We also do some purchased advertising from time to time, and we reach out to the media quite a bit and say, hey, we've got all this stuff coming on, and the media has been so great in this town to be able to relay all the different things that we have going on. So that's really kind of how we get our message out into the community.
Oh, wow. And speaking of newness, you guys have the Soaring Eagle now. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, that's the new zip lining service here, so definitely check that out. But how's the response been from it?
Tremendous. So we had, whenever you open an exhibit, a ride like this, you have projections about how many people you think are going to ride over the course of a year, and we have easily doubled that in the course of the year since opening it up. It's a great ride. If people are familiar with zip lines, these aren't the ones that you strap into with a rope and dangle.
Oh, wow.
It's a seated, seated zip line. So it's a little tamer than normal zip lines, but still a nice way to get a new view of the zoo.
Yeah,
So.
at least you won't have to travel outside of Nashville to get that experience.
That's right. Yeah, you can just do it right here in town.
Yeah, and I think I saw like on your site that you had teamed up with the Nashville Zoo has teamed up with the HCA about developing a new veterinarian clinic.
Yes, and that's in our growth plan. A couple of years down the road, really depending on funding, we hope to open that up. Our hospital right now is very small, our animal hospital is, and we have a growth plan that's going to bring on so many more animals, not just spider monkeys and rhinos and Andean bears and tigers, but we have a bigger expansion for Africa. So gorillas and hippos and cheetah and lions and all the things that you'd expect to see at the zoo, all of that is planned down the road.
Wow.
To care for these animals, we're going to need a hospital that's big enough to care for them. And this is going to be a state-of-the-art hospital. In addition to that, this hospital is going to have a lot of public engagement elements to it. So people will actually be able to walk up to the hospital, look into some of the procedure rooms and see what's happening, and really engage with our veterinary team, our vet tech team. We'll have areas up there where college students come in and do some work. High school students can come in and engage. So it really is a process to get the whole community engaged in animal care and conservation and everything that we're doing.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I know that the Nashville community is very hands-on when it comes to the Nashville Zoo. The petting zoo was a big thing when it came out, so, and it's had a great response level. Every time I've came, people have been like overjoyed.
Yeah.
In fact, you all can't see our camera guy, but he ended up putting a few of the kangaroos to sleep the last time we visited here. So,
Just petting them, putting
oh
them to
yeah,
sleep.
they're like so much like babies.
They
you
are.
know,
They're like dogs in the sun. They just
Yeah.
lay right out. You just pet them.
it's surprising how they respond to like human touch. You know.
Yeah, well, when you're raised by, your hand raised, you're used to that. So an animal gets used to that kind of contact. And, it can be very rewarding for both the animal and the guest.
Yeah. If I have it correct, I think HCA is matching every dollar donated with $2. So
I'm not familiar with the specifics of the donation for the hospital, but I do know that HCA has stepped up to support us in quite a bit to be able to make this hospital happen. I don't think we're all the way there yet, but we're very close to being able to raise the kind of funds that we need to build the hospital that we want.
now, is there a way for others, maybe public, just general public, get involved in donating?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's lots of different ways you can donate. Money is always the first thing that you think of when you go to donate, and certainly you can do that on our website. There's donations that you can make. You can join certain levels of membership that are considered donation level, society level donations. Donating your time to the zoo to come out and volunteer, help us plant, help us hand out candy at our
Big on volunteering here.
Yeah, lots of volunteering. It takes 1,300 volunteers to run our Halloween event. So that in itself helps us. And really, just visiting us really goes a long way too. Your admission, the price that you pay, the membership that you buy, all of that goes to help run the zoo as well as contribute towards the conservation efforts that we make. And we contribute quite a bit every year. About 3% of our income goes to conservation.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Do you have a favorite enrichment program or at least conservation plan that we have here at Nashville Zoo?
Wow, there are so many. We have, right now we have some that I'm very excited about. We have an alligator snapping turtle program that we just started. Alligator snapping turtles are really becoming very endangered right here in the state. And so our team, our herpetologist team, had just acquired 30 baby snapping turtles that they're going to raise, breed in a protected environment, and then re-release them back into areas where we believe we can repopulate this area. And in the meantime, study these animals because we really don't know a lot about them. What affects their health? Why are they starting to disappear? What is the cause of this? And what can we do to try to stop it? So that's a really good program. A very similar program we're running for the Nashville crayfish, which is an animal right here in a creek that runs right through the zoo, an endangered crayfish that we're looking to fix. So creek restoration, that's another great project that we're working on. And we also reach across the globe for conservation projects. So there's a lot of different stuff that's going on, both locally and around the world, that the zoo is making a direct impact on.
I love how hands-on you all are.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
thank you.
there's a lot of camps here that a lot of people just don't know about, or they find out a day too late, past
Right.
registration.
Yep,
So
we have a vet camp that goes on in the fall. We just got finished with it, and it's very popular, and a lot of kids like to go. Because you think, when you're that age, this is 12, 13-year-old kids that get into this program, they think at that age, I want to be a veterinarian. So you can come to the vet camp and actually actually learn what your day-to-day process entails and really understand whether you want to follow down that career path or not.
Yeah, what better place to do that than an actual zoo? So.
If you're going to be a vet, why not do it with exotic animals,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, speaking of all the changes and the latest happenings, how can someone stay up to date about like the Nashville Zoo and what's going on?
Well, our website's a good place to go and just catch up on the latest information. Sign up for our newsletter, which you can do at the website, and you'll receive periodic updates. We usually send general updates about twice a month, and then every now and then we'll send you a dedicated email that's for a particular topic. In those emails, you'll see the conservation work that we're doing, the newest animals that are coming online or coming about, visiting us or staying here as a permanent resident at the zoo, new exhibits that are opening up, any events that we have coming. All of that's going to be in our monthly e-newsletter, and anybody can sign up for that.
And also recent births, because I received my email.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I believe it was actually a snapping alligator of some sort. Yeah.
Alligator snapping turtles.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
weren't
snapping
born
turtle.
here. We just got some babies, and that's a big project. That
Yeah.
really is an important project. Very excited about it.
Yeah. And they also give you the opportunity to name some of the animals, because I saw that back in the summer, and I was like, hey.
Yes, yeah.
you
That
know.
was the other thing, is that occasionally we get baby animals that people just go gaga over.
Yeah.
These are typically fuzzy, cute mammals of some kind.
Huge eyes.
Big eyes, yeah. People just fall in love with them. So we'll give the public an opportunity to vote on a choice of names. We usually have like 3 names, and you can vote on them, any of those choices. And we ask that when you vote, you make a contribution. So every dollar is a vote. So every dollar that you give to us is a vote for that name. All of the money that we have for that goes directly to conservation of that species in particular. So if it's like naming a red panda, then we're going to send the money to the red panda relief efforts that are going on, or the conservation efforts for red panda.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, again, I'd like to thank you for speaking with me today.
Sure, yeah.
Fitting me in your schedule.
No, not a problem at all.
For this part of the 3rd episode, I am joined by Mr. Greg, the Nashville Zoo's Director of Animal Operations. He's going to be here to kind of talk with us about his former experience as a keeper, zookeeper that is, as well as explain what animal enrichment is and why it's important. So stay tuned. So thank you, Greg, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Excited to be here.
Awesome. I want to kind of talk about what Director of Animal Operations is and how being a zookeeper kind of helped you in that field.
Sure. So, the Director of Animal Operations, so I'm in charge of all aspects of the animal care here at the Nashville Zoo. So, all of the animal keepers and the curators and the people who are responsible for taking care of the animals on a daily basis, including the veterinarians and our nutritionist who provides the foods for the animals, they all report up through me. So, it's a pretty big task to try to work with the people here taking care of the animals on a daily basis. But, as with a lot of roles, as you continue in your career, you get further away from the things that you really love. Now, I used to be an animal keeper, and that's how I started my career. So as I've moved up, I spend a lot more time working with people and working with meetings and
Less animals.
and less animals. But it is nice because I do get out on days like today, and I get to see the animals and see my team in action. So that is fun.
Awesome. I was going to say it sounds like a huge responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility, but again, when you love what you do, it's not really like work.
Well, can you share with us some of your experiences as a zookeeper?
Sure. I think a lot of people take for granted that, that people are here every day, 365 days out of the year. We don't really have to have a day that we can take off. We can't go home on the weekend. So there's a lot of very, hardworking individuals that are out here committing their time and their efforts. And quite honestly, we're developing relationships with these animals. So these animals are our friends. They're part of our family, really. It's more than just cleaning up after them. A lot of people think, oh, you clean up after animals and you give them food. Well, that is a big part of what we do, but there's a lot more that we do. And, having their mental health as well as their physical health is something that we're responsible for.
Have you ever cared for an animal that maybe had a sickness or an illness?
Oh, absolutely. Just as with people, I mean, animals do get sick. Now, the beauty of being here at the Nashville Zoo is we do have a veterinary department that is responsible for keeping an eye on the health of the animals. So they'll work with the teams, and these animals will get annual exams, just like we'll go to the doctor for a checkup. These animals will too. So when we do have an animal that does get sick, we've got some pretty amazing stories that our veterinarians have worked with to nurse those animals back to health. But the reality is, these animals, just like us, they do have times they get sick.
Yeah. They seem to be well kept and enjoy like human touch. As I was like mentioning a bit earlier, my brother actually put a kangaroo to sleep the last time he was here. So yeah, and it was a fairly new attraction here. So it was awesome to kind of see how they respond to human touch.
Yeah.
Surprising too.
Yeah, and we've obviously worked a few of the areas here at the zoo to kind of enhance that experience where you can interact with an animal. And so our kangaroo kickabout is one that you can walk the path, and if a kangaroo comes up on the path, you can touch them on the back. And so that's some of them do enjoy that interaction, but quite honestly, a lot of the animals we have out here, they're like, you stay over there and I'm gonna stay over here and I'm gonna be good with it. So it isn't automatic that all the animals enjoy the touch, but it is something that there are certain animals that do respond better to that, and we call it tactile reinforcement when we touch them and scrub them down and scratch them. So similar to your dog liking a belly rub, there are some animals that do like that, and then there's other animals that you put me on my back and you rub my belly, that's a defensive position. And so
a rabbit. I owned one, and like my rabbit would either stop breathing as a defense, but
for some animals you just don't do it.
Oh, I'm old enough to remember the first petting zoo here, so
right.
I'm young, but still, it was a first, and it was something that everyone was pretty excited about. So
that's great.
See it expand to a point where we have kangaroos is exciting.
Yeah, well, we are excited about the changes that are coming to the Nashville Zoo. We are continuing to grow, and we are determined that we are going to be one of the best zoos, if not the best zoo in this country.
I say the best now, so. Yeah.
I agree with you. We're working on it.
Awesome. Have you encountered any animals that you're scared of?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily use the word scared. I would say that I have a healthy respect for the animals. It doesn't matter whether the animal's big or small, or we consider it dangerous or not. All these animals can present their own challenges, and so you just need to be respectful of them. And if you let your guard down and you take some of these animals for granted, even something as small as a rabbit can do some damage. So you want to be very respectful of the animals, but I would say working with the animals, you learn what you're supposed to do with them, and so I wouldn't say that it's a fear or being scared.
Awesome. So you all use a lot of special terms here, and animal enrichment seems to be one that's thrown around quite often. Do you mind just kind of defining what animal enrichment is for the general public?
Sure. When I talk about providing for the animals and we say the basic needs like food and shelter and things like that, I added on that we also want to provide for the mental well-being of the animals. So enrichment is a term that is used for anything that we might do. Maybe it's providing the food in a novel way, as opposed to just putting it all in a bowl and putting it in front of the animal. We might spread it around the exhibit so they can forage and do some natural behaviors. Or maybe enrichment is an actual toy. You might walk around the zoo and you might see a big rubber toy or some type of feeder hanging in the tree for the animals to interact with. So it causes them to do some of their natural behaviors, the way that they like to eat or forage or hunt or play. Some of the animals just really, they need to work out some of that extra energy, and so we'll give some of the animals things that they can fight with. So enrichment is anything that we would use to stimulate natural behaviors and get the animals active in the exhibits.
Now, I know you all just had a Halloween activity. It was like animal enrichment. Is that a favorite of yours, or do you have some other favorite animal enrichment event or activity here?
Yeah, I would say for me the most fun is watching your animals play and interact with their environment. So anytime we do enrichment, it's fun. The thing is, our team is out there doing it all the time. And so this Halloween-themed, fall-themed enrichment that we've been doing all this month was really more just an opportunity to get the guests involved with seeing some of the fun stuff that we were doing, because sometimes the enrichment blends in with the exhibit and you can't always see it. But when you throw a big orange paper bag out there and you stuff it with some hay and some bugs and the birds tear it all up, then you know that they're interacting with something.
That's pretty awesome. Do you have a favorite exhibit here?
It's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite animal or a favorite exhibit because I think there's a lot of really cool stuff out there. There are a few animals that have special places in my heart just from the time that I've worked with them. I'm very excited that the rhinos are coming to the Nashville Zoo, and with some of the exhibits that we have coming open. That's really exciting. But quite honestly, walking around the zoo and seeing some of the nooks and the crannies and the small exhibits and stuff, I have a lot of fun just walking around doing that.
It's always something new here, so I advise you guys to come out and check it out if at all possible. Sometime throughout the year. Again, they're open 365 days out of the year.
We do.
Roughly.
Yeah, we do have a couple of core holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, that we are closed. But in general, we're out. So even if you might say, wow, it's a cold day, the zoo must be closed. No, we're open. Some of the animals might have access to their indoor holding and to heat, but we're open and we're here, and we're happy to share with you and talk with you about the great stuff that the team does with the animals.
Is there one thing or a few things that you wish more people knew about here at the zoo that maybe it's not commonly talked about in the public?
I think the biggest thing for me right now is just the fact that there are some people out there who don't understand what we do and why we're doing it. And just to come out to the zoo and take the time to learn. I mean, there are some very passionate people, and we're doing some pretty amazing stuff from conservation efforts around the world. But even here locally, there's some of the work that the Nashville Zoo is doing here in the rivers of Tennessee. It's pretty amazing, and it's one of the reasons why I was drawn here to come work for the zoo. Because I think those little secrets, they aren't secrets. It's just sometimes you don't take the time to look and to listen because you just want to run around to see the next flamingo or the next whatever. So I just wish people would go a little slower and take their time and learn, because there's some amazing stuff that we're doing right here at the zoo, and this is your zoo. So
Definitely, and I advise you all to sign up for the newsletter. Visit the NashvilleZoo.org site, and then you'll be able to sign up for the newsletter. But again, I'd like to thank you for speaking with me today. It's been awesome. You've been showing me around, telling me different things about flamingos that I didn't know.
You're welcome. This is a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Well, again, guys, go to the Nashville Zoo's website and subscribe to their newsletter so that you can stay up to date about what's happening here. There's so much going on, and I know animal enrichment was being tossed around a lot this October because they did have the Halloween event. So that was something that everyone was going crazy about on Twitter. I saw a few videos of leopards eating certain Halloween themed treats and stuff.
Boo at the zoo.
Yep, and that's still going on.
That is going on through Halloween. So
Awesome. Well, definitely check that out too. Thanks for tuning in, and again, thank you.